super creamy, richly spiced coconut curry broth, and then pork so tender it just falls apart. This is my Cheats version. It's a slow cooker Chiang Mai noodle soup. A traditional from scratch Khao Soi or Chiang Mai noodle soup, definitely a labor of love. But for this version, this little Cheats version, I have quite a few little shortcuts that is going to make it totally hassle-free. Let's get into doing the flavor part first of all, and we want to make a little curry sauce base here. So I need to start off with a little bit of oil in a pan. And our first cheat ingredient here is to use some store-bought Thai red curry paste. Look, if you'd like to make the traditional paste for this from scratch, I have a video on how to do that on my channel. But we're gonna use store-bought red curry paste for this one. Now, always when you're using Thai curry paste, you wanna let the paste kind of bloom in some hot oil first of all. It really allows all the aromatics and all the spices and the flavors to kind of release out into your pan. Okay, so that's smelling really good. Now I'm going to go in with some extra spices because we're doing a little bit of a cheat here with the curry paste, but we've got to kind of add in more of the rich dried spices that would typically be in a Khao Soi curry paste. So I'm going to use a mixture here of spices called garam masala. Very easy to find in a lot of supermarkets, and it has things like cinnamon, ground cumin, ground coriander, a whole bunch of things that you don't have to keep in your pantry if you've got garam masala. So add that in. And then a little bit of turmeric here for some color, as well as that sort of turmeric flavor. Now just let those spices mix in there a little bit. And now let's talk about pork. So I'm using a pork shoulder here that I've got diced up. And for me, in a slow cooker, always it's the secondary cuts that do the best. So they're the cuts that have a little bit of fat, like that's running through this pork here, a little bit of like tendon, and all of that fat and the tendons, they're gonna sort of melt down and give you that soft gelatinous kind of texture. You could totally use like, you know, gravy beef here, or chuck steak, or chicken drumsticks, chicken thighs, any of those kind of secondary cuts of meat. Now I'm gonna get that pork in with my curry paste. And you wanna let that pork cook in that paste for a little bit, just really try and get each piece coated and browning in there. Now I've got a little bit of color on that pork. I can smell that those spices and the curry paste are really working their magic. Now let's get everything into the slow cooker. That's our hard work already done. Now into here you want to add some coconut milk. And some chicken stock. Just give that a bit of a mix. And now here's a little optional extra. I like to add in some magroot lime leaves here. These guys add a really beautiful fresh lime flavor to the whole dish, but they are optional. If you can't get a hold of them at your Asian grocery store, don't worry about it. Don't miss out on this recipe because you can't get a hold of these. If you can though, what you want to do is scrunch them up in your hands. That kind of starts to get them like releasing their aroma and their fragrance. Aroma and fragrance are the same thing. I always, you know, when you catch yourself saying something really silly, they have a really beautiful smell. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, that goes into our pot. And now lid on. And look, you can't overcook things in a slow cooker generally. Cook this on low for 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, 4 hours at a minimum until that pork is really beautifully soft and tender. Now, this little slow cooker has been making my house and kitchen smell amazing for hours now. Let's go and have a look at what we've got going on in here. Oh, wow, that smell, those spices, the coconut, all of it, oh, so good. Now, I just want to have a look in here. Everything is looking so creamy and yum. And now the real test here is how tender and meltingly soft did we get that pork. Let's have a look. All right, now check this out, guys. This is nothing short of wonderful. Oh, see how soft that pork is? Literally just melts in your mouth. Amazing. Okay, let's get our noodle soup all sorted out before I eat all of this pork. What we need to do here is finish off with some seasoning. Always with Thai soups or curries, we always finish off with seasoning with some fish sauce and some sugar. So I just want to taste the soup itself. Oh, that's good. It is spicy, nice, just the right kind of spicy that I like. Oh, it does need some seasoning though. So we need some fish sauce in here. And just a little dash of sugar as well. Palm sugar would be traditional, but we're doing the Cheats version today, so I'm making it easy on you all. Just some white sugar is fine. And now let's see how we're going. You know what's amazing about that final last bit of seasoning is that it makes all the spices, all the fragrances, all of the aromatics really sing beautifully. Like it kind of pulls them all into focus. That is stunning. So I've just got some cooked fresh egg noodles in a bowl here. You could go any noodles that you like really. And I'm gonna ladle in some nice juicy pieces of pork. Now all that's left are the garnishes, and for a khao soi, for me the garnishes are pretty key, but what we don't have today are crispy fried noodles, which is what you would traditionally have. I have a little cheat for that. Instead of that, I'm going to go for some crispy fried shallots, because you still get that kind of crispy, toasty texture and flavour without having to deep fry the noodles. And then a little bit of red shallot or red onion, sprinkling of coriander here. And then always a lime wedge. Squeeze it over just before you start tucking in. And there you go, my friends, my Cheats version of a classic Chiang Mai Khao Soi Noodle Soup. And wow, I cannot wait to dig into this one. Let me tell you how it tastes. I need some lime first of all. That is so good. It really is just like a whole bowl of joyful. You got chewy noodles, you've got the spicy soup, all those aromatics, the coconut. Let me have a go of this soup. There is so much going on in there. It's like, it has everything, and it's really nice and spicy, just the way I like it. Wow. I love that we can do this in like a little bit of a shortcut way and still have something super amazing.